Hey, hey, hey. Happy Friday. How's everyone doing today? Hopefully great on this. We're finally getting sun here. It's so exciting. I can't even tell you. I'm so excited for summer. And summer makes me think maybe people need some healthy moisture in their hair and all kinds of good things like that. So I'm talking today about all these things. What I want you to know is, like, sometimes, have you ever felt like you have a hat on and you're like, I just need to keep a hat on because my hair is not growing or looking as healthy as I want it to be. So we're going to help you get the hair you want so you don't have to have a hat on, even if you love that hat so much. I don't want you to feel like you have to wear it to cover your hair. So today we are going to talk about growing your hair out healthy and making it awesome and work for you. So don't forget to comment and share publicly so that we can see that you've shared. And today we have some good presents for you. We have, of course, an iron that I used to straighten my hair a little bit today. And then we also have these 5 time traveler sets that are going to help you with your healthiness. And we are doing that in honor of Cinco de Mayo. And also today, because of Cinco de Mayo, we are doing 5 shampoo and conditioner sets so that people can get their hair into healthiness. And speaking of that, it is so funny because one of our stylists just did a post on #TimeIron that we sent them out samples of shampoo and conditioner when we were testing them, when we were really close to the end, and she was like, I just finally used the last of my this size bottle for 10 months, people. 10 months it took her to go through this. I was like, good job, Addie. Like 10 months she had 1 shampoo and conditioner bottle. So if you don't think it's worth the price, it is. Okay, so, and because it's a good price right now, ching. So I'm gonna take off my awesome Violent Gentleman Unite hat. This is one of my friends. She's a hockey wife, and her husband started this company, and I just love this hat. So as much as I don't want to take it off, I feel like talking about healthy hair without a hat on is probably a better idea, but I do love this. And I love, like, he was a fighter in the NHL, and so I think Violent Gentleman Unite is just a really cool name, so I thought it was great. Can you take that and put it out of my reach? Because I don't have a lot of little gadgets here for you guys today and tricks to teach you about growing your hair out healthy. So if you have any healthy hair questions, make sure you get those in today, because we are going to have some answers for you, hopefully, right after I get my hair out of hat hair. Okay, so I think that's pretty good. All right, so we want to first talk about how to keep your hair healthy at home, and then we're going to give you some suggestions about making sure that your stylist is doing what their part in keeping your hair healthy at the salon, which most of them I think do, but it's always good to know what you need to be on the lookout for and how to, things that, like, because sometimes they ask you if you want a certain treatment at the end of your session, and you might say no when maybe you should be saying yes. So we will talk about that. So let's start off with how to keep your hair healthy at home, okay? So one of the main things you need to start with, and I'm just gonna walk you through a day of styling. So first thing, with your shampoo and conditioner, you wanna make sure that they're giving you all the moisture and all the hydration you need to restore health to your hair every time after you heat style or blow dry or anything you're doing. You wanna make sure that they're restoring the health to your hair. And they do that, and the way you can tell that, this is shaking the table a lot. I think you keep putting your arm here or something. I can just see it like, woo, unless it's a train passing me by. So, okay. So what I'd like you guys to really pay attention to is that the shampoo and conditioner are very, very vital in making your hair perform in the way it needs to, and also restoring the moisture to your hair. So if you feel like your hair doesn't look shiny after you blow dry, that's one of the things we'll address in a little bit. Make sure that if you think you're keeping that part healthy, then you might want to address the products you're using. So that's huge. And then the next thing you want to do before you start blow drying is make sure that you have the right thermal protectant in, and a right thermal protectant will help your hair perform and also help keep the shine in and not make your hair feel too oily or anything. So That's very important. Now, the next thing you want to do is make sure that when you're blow drying, that you're keeping the moisture in your hair, okay? So one of the things you really want to do is after you blow dry, right? So if I'm blow drying, when I finish my blow dry, if my ends start looking really dry, or even just up here in my hair, if it starts looking dried out, then that's one of the key signs. Now, if your hair still maintains the shine, that means you're keeping the right amount of moisture in, and that's what you really need to pay attention to, is how shiny it is after you blow dry. If you're taking too much moisture out of your hair when you blow dry because you want it like real dry, then it'll start looking like, I have a little hair example here. This one's still pretty healthy looking, but it starts looking more tattered, and it looks more dry. So how do you tell when it looks more dry? Jenny, you have any suggestions on that? I'm trying to think of like a good thing. My hair always looks like horsehair at the bottom, so don't judge by that. It's up here that you need to judge by, because it's always just the way my hair looks, because it's just thick. Yeah, so you're looking for dullness, and for hair to, do you know what horsehair looks like at the bottom of its tail? Like that's kind of, if your hair isn't naturally like that, like mine, then you might have to be watching for that as your sign that you're over blow drying. Okay, so once you blow dry, then you need to make sure that you're not taking too much heat out of, that you're not taking too much moisture out after when you're heat styling. So I have my handy dandy cord, I think. Do I have that cord around somewhere? It's on the other side of the table. It's too out of my reach. My go-go gadget arm isn't working today, so the girls bring it in. So, when you keep all the moisture in, your hair will stay intact like this, and it looks nice and healthy like this cord. And then if you start, overheating and over drying, this is what starts to happen. And then your hair starts looking like this at the bottom, okay? Once your hair gets like this, it's hard to retrieve it and make it look better. When it gets to this point, then you need to cut that piece off. And here, like in this area, you might be okay, but up here, you can keep it very healthy, right? So you want to keep your hair from this window up, right? It's okay to have a little bit, you can get through that and you can kind of like live through it, but when you start getting to this, your hair starts literally looking like the bottom of that cord, real fuzzy and goofy and not what we want hair to look like, right? So if your hair starts looking like this, that means you're causing heat damage. Now, there's lots of ways to avoid your hair looking like this with the right products and the right amount of treatment on it when you're heat styling. You can keep your hair healthy with heat. You can keep it in this window, right? Where it's healthy and you can still have a little bit of damage because, hair isn't perfect. Nothing in the world, I swear, is perfect, but it's very great anyway. So I want you to make sure that you don't let your hair get into that window. Like one of my aunts that works here in the warehouse, I was watching her the other day and I was like, I revamped her hair recently and was like, okay, we're gonna take you out of, she was scrunching all the time. And I said, I want you to go into like blow drying straight, because she needed a change. And so we were teaching her that, and she started using the iron in the front, and she was like squeezing hard because she's used to like a cheaper iron that doesn't, or that might have ceramic plates and you have to squeeze a little bit harder. And so with this iron, you just literally don't even have to squeeze it all, right, Jenny?
Right.
Jenny, okay, so Jenny, come in and show them. So Jenny has fine hair, and she used to, when she first started using the iron, go ahead and tell them what was your lesson in it, Jenny?
Yeah, I squeezed the iron too much. I was used to curling with a flat iron and using tension, and I found out kind of the hard way that you don't need to do that with our iron.
Yeah. So
little to no tension.
Yeah. So
gets you the same result. Better result, actually.
Yeah, better. Yeah. And so you can see her hair is very healthy. You've been using the iron for how long now, do you think?
Probably a year at least.
Yeah. Okay. So, she's been, and how long have you been using the shampoo and conditioner?
I bet 6 months or so, a little before Christmas. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so she, when she first ran into this window, right? When she first
And that
started
is what it
working
looked
here,
like.
she had this little problem. And so I did a dusting cut on her, which we'll talk about in a little while. I'm not sure, yeah, we do have my shears. So I'll show you how to address a dusting cut. And that's how we got her through that window of having a little bit of this damage without cutting all of her hair off, because you don't have to. As long as you don't let this go
Yeah.
then you're in a problem. Okay. So so you want to make sure that you have a lot of all of that taken care of. Okay, you want to make sure you're using the right kind of products for your hair, you're maintaining the moisture in your hair, and you're not causing damage when you're heat styling. So those are some of your main concerns, okay? When you're blow drying, make sure you keep your blow dryer moving. Don't keep it in one spot. And another thing about blow drying that I think is super vital is not using too much heat or too high of a speed with too much heat, okay? So both Jenny and Tammy have, since they started using our blow dryer, they've both started using low, and actually I've been using low too because I like listening to music when it's on. See, I wish we had music and we could play it right now, because this is what I blow dry my hair on now, and I get to listen to music. So I actually kind of enjoy blow drying my hair now because I can listen to music or talk on the phone or whatever, and it's so great. So anyway, both of them have started blow drying their hair on low, and it has been amazing for them. Let me show you what I mean. So Tammy always blow dried her hair on high, and she has fine hair, but she also has extensions. So I like to look at hair like this for when in regards to blow drying, okay? I think this is more of a tension and heat issue, and this is like the blow drying kind of example, okay? So when a healthy plant has moisture all the way to the ends, it's, that's what a plant does, is it takes it from the root and distributes it out to the ends of the plant, right? So when a plant doesn't keep moisture here, or it can't nourish itself, what happens is this leaf starts to die, and it starts to die on the ends, same as your hair. So your hair will start drying out here just like the leaf does. And you know how the leaf, when it is not healthy anymore, it will get dry and brittle and just crack and break off, right? That's the same thing your hair will do when you take too much moisture out when you blow dry. So you want to make sure that the ends of your hair are maintaining enough moisture, just like the plant maintains enough moisture all the way to the edge of the leaf, okay? So what Tammy and Jenny were both doing, because they didn't really think about, that it would cause that much damage, is that they were blow drying on higher heat and higher speeds. So they were dehydrating the ends of their hair. Since they've stopped doing that and started doing it on low and listening to music and enjoying their blow time, they now have healthier hair, which is great. So from watching them and their hair transform, I've decided we need to pass this along to you guys, because it's so important and so vital. And I didn't realize how much this affects people's hair until recently. I mean, I've been studying hair now for 3 solid years with this iron, and since I created it, and I'm okay, wow, there's a lot about hair that I just didn't really pay attention to before, and now I'm really starting to pay attention and trying to help pass all those learnings on to you. Learnings. Okay, so that was a goofy way to phrase it. Okay, so when you want to keep your hair moisturized, and so that's so key during your blow dry, to make sure that you are keeping that moisture all the way to the end so that it's not breaking off, okay? And you won't even know that it'll just kind of disappear. It just kind of like this leaf, right? You would go out one day and the leaf would be there, and then a week later, you might go and it would be gone, but you wouldn't know it, right? You just don't notice that happening. Did you, Jenny? You just don't notice, right? I don't think so. I just noticed her hair since she changed blow dryers. I was like, what are you doing different? It's amazing. And she was like, I think it's blow time that's making the change. So, because she's enjoying her blow time. Okay, so that is how I want you to really focus on all of these things at home, right? Those are your at-home routines. Another thing is, and I don't have any facts to back this up. This is my instincts, just saying that I think that oil is best used after heat rather than before, because I really think it can start like reacting like it does in a hot pan, how it pops out at you, you know. I think it's like an accelerant of heat. And I wish I don't know how to do a study on this, so I'm gonna try and figure it out for you guys so that I can like make sure this is the right thing. But my instincts say put oil on after heat, not before, okay? So you'll wanna make sure if you're using like different styling oils that you distribute it in your hair after the heat. Okay, so let's not do accelerants before heat in our hair. I feel like it's not a good thing. All right, so the next thing I wanna talk about is if you're keeping your hair healthy at home and you're doing your part, now how do you make sure that your stylist is doing their part? So this is like a tricky ground, right? Because there are things that your stylist might do, you know, really well, and it's hard for you to know or not know if they are or aren't. So I don't want anybody going out accusing their stylist of not being a great stylist or anything like that. I just want to let you know how to tell signs or how to make sure you're not asking them to do something that you shouldn't be doing on your hair, right? Because sometimes you're like trying to keep your client happy because they're asking for a certain thing. And, you know, so just keep a happy medium on this. Don't try and blame your stylist or say that, I don't want anybody going out and accusing their stylist of not being good because of something I'm saying. I don't think they are, but it's my disclaimer. Do we have the brush for this over here? Okay. So when you go in and get your hair highlighted, okay? This is my highlighting foil. So we have the darker hair underneath and the lighter hair over top. So when you go in to get your hair refoiled or recolored, what's gonna happen is if you had your regrowth, right, the dark part to here, then most of the time what you need is your stylist to just touch up the color up here, right? So that's your regrowth. Now, a lot of people and a lot of stylists will overlap this. Now there's some ways that you can overlap this and there's some ways that you shouldn't, and it really depends on the health of your hair and how it is and how you treat it and so many factors. But one thing I want you to know that if you ask your stylist to brighten your blonde and overlap this, right? Every time you go over this, it's a problem for your hair. It's causing chemical damage. That's what it does. That's what bleach does. Now, you can keep your hair healthy in the process of overlapping by changing, it's called a volumizer. A volumizer up here can be a higher one, and when you're overlapping then, it needs to be lower because this will process different than the part that's already really blonde. So that's, if your stylist has a couple of bowls next to them, they could be changing as they're overlapping. So don't go in and think that just because they're overlapping, it's a problem. But if you're having problems and they're overlapping, you might want to consider not asking them or just you not asking to overlap that blonde and get it more and more blonde. They can also do it with a toner as opposed to the bleach, okay? So you'll want to be aware of what you're asking for if you're trying to keep your hair very healthy or if you're experiencing some kind of damage and you want to address it with your stylist, okay? So overlapping color is a problem. So if it gets overlapped when it's already very blonde, it can cause problems. So just be aware of that. And it doesn't have to cause problems. I'm just saying it can. So you have to kind of weigh which factor is contributing to anything that might be causing your hair not to be its prime healthiness. We're giving you a nutrition plan for your hair, okay? That's what we're working on here. Okay. So another thing that your stylist, after they process your color, when you go into the shampoo bowl, there is, different kinds of conditioning treatments that they can do in the bowl. And I highly recommend that if they recommend or ask you if you would like to have a deep conditioning treatment after your color treatment, I would always say yes. It was a must in my salon. I had to put it on my clients because it was so important to finishing off the color and closing off that cuticle layer. So your cuticle layer is the part that the shingles I always talk about on your hair. And when you do a color treatment, you lift those shingles up and you lay them back down with conditioner. So it's when your hair starts looking like that, funny part where everything starts lifting up and you have like little frizzy pieces all over. Now that can be regrowth, like new growth coming in, because you have cycles of hair that regrow all the time, but they are spread out in how heavy that happens. Like sometimes it happens with more pieces of hair and sometimes it happens with less piece of hair. So I will talk about that in a minute if we can get to that. So you'll want to make sure that you do a deep conditioning treatment after a color process, because the minute you hit your hair with a blow dryer after you have a color treatment, it's too late to close those shingles down. You want to close them down right away so that you can do it, so that your hair can stay its healthiest. So you want to make sure that you're in that shampoo bowl for a long time getting a deep conditioner. Most of them take about 10 minutes, but it varies, and there's probably many out there that I don't know about and how long. I just know the one I used always took 10 minutes in the bowl. So, and there are different things you can ask for, like if you're getting blondes, like Olaplex helps a lot and things like that. So make sure that you're asking and talking and becoming proactive about keeping your hair healthy with your stylist, and let them know that that's important to you. Okay, so what do you do if you're in a window where your hair is not as healthy as you like, but it's like up here some damage, right? Okay, so there you have a dusting cut, okay? Let me show you what a dusting cut consists of, okay? So a dusting cut is what we did when Jenny, she had a little bit of damage back here in the beginning. So I took a piece, and what we did is we rotated it on the comb or on your finger like this, and you can just take little snippets of the ends that are getting a little fuzzy right here like this, okay? And that will take off all those fuzzy ends. I didn't really cut right there, so if I had a fuzzy end or something, that's why it looks like that. So you'll want to be able to do that, and that allows you to keep the smoothness that's underneath and just take off those little bit of ends that look like squiggles. That's what you want to take off there, not the healthy ones that are straight. You want to take off the little squiggle ends. Those are the ones that give you that rough textured look, the one that looks like, what's it from? Oh, it's from the Flintstones. Like they look like they stuck their finger in a light socket, like Bam Bam, is it? I don't know. But anyway, so whatever that is, if you don't want to look like that and you're seeing any damage, you can do a dusting cut, or your stylist can do a dusting cut. Whoever is comfortable with it. I don't know if it's a good thing for you to practice at home. I'm gonna let you gauge, what your skill set is. I don't know if you're a stylist or not. So you'll just want to go in, and you can take those little wiry ends that get funny, and that can do a world of difference to get you through any damage that has been caused, and we'll make sure. Now, if you get into this window, you have to take that hair off, okay? So don't let your hair get into this window where it's real fuzzy and getting like real wiry and funny looking. You want to make sure that if it gets into this window, you get that cut off right away, because then you can restore healthiness. Because what people do is they go in, hold on, let me get my bad example iron here, okay? So what people do is they start getting into this fuzzy window, and they're like, oh, if I just straighten it a lot, it's gonna look better, and you can never get it to lay down, which then causes more heat damage up here, and then you get yourself into this window higher up, okay? So make sure that you keep that fuzziness away at all costs. You do not want to get into that window, okay? So if you have to cut that off, that's what you have to do to get through whatever caused the damage, okay? So I want to talk about tension and how that causes that kind of damage in relationship to our iron, or any iron for that matter, actually. So if you're squeezing tight on a hot styling tool, you're going to cause this outer layer to strip off, and you break the hair down, and eventually you just dehydrate it so much that it turns into like exposing the core, and then that's where you get into that problem, okay? So you'll want to make sure that you know how your iron works. Like if you have a ceramic iron, the heat transfer is slower. If you have a titanium iron, the heat transfer is faster. So you have to know what kind of iron you're using, right? If you have a titanium iron, your plates will be shiny If you have a ceramic one, they will be more of a flat or dull look. And both are great, just know how to use them, okay? So ceramic is a slower heat transfer. Titanium, shiny, is a faster heat transfer, okay? So if it's a faster heat transfer, think you don't have to squeeze to get that there, right? So Jenny, she literally, I don't even know how to explain on here because you can't feel it, but it feels like, have you ever had someone just kind of play with your hair when your hair is really nicely brushed? That even feels like more tension than it does to me when I go through my hair and iron, okay? So if you feel like you're closing the iron, then it's too much tension, okay? So you don't even need to do that. You can just kind of pass over it. Like, I'm trying to think of what a great example is. And I just always think of, like, you know, when you're ironing a shirt, if you push that iron down really hard, those wrinkles don't necessarily come out. If you can use the right heat setting for it, then it will come out really nicely, right? If you have the right amount of moisture in the shirt and all of that stuff, right? So if you haven't over dried your hair and then so think of this. If you've over dried the hair and then you put too much tension on, you're going to get into this window really fast. So don't let yourself do that. Make sure you keep shine in your hair and make sure that you aren't putting tension on your hair. It is so, so key. Now, if you're straightening, I don't know the exact way to tell you if you're putting too much tension, except for it should feel like nothing as you're running through. Like you could almost even straighten with just one plate. That's how good the heat transfer is, and how I wanted it to be so that you could do everything fast on your hair and you don't have to go super slow, and you can control it just by squeezing how much heat you want on it, you know what I mean? Or not squeezing. So I wanted it to put as least tension as possible and still be able to treat your hair in a really great way and make it be shiny and healthy. So one person that has caused this problem, and so I'm going to show you a return we got where she said the iron didn't work and it damaged her hair. Can anyone guess what was happening here? Let me show you a healthy iron. Here's a healthy iron in the guidelines. Do you see those brown lines? Do you see the unhealthiness? Do you see what I mean by tension, right? So imagine what was happening to this person's hair, how unhealthy it was getting because they were squeezing so hard, okay? So don't let this happen to your iron. If you see anything happening to your guidelines, I want you to loosen your tension, okay? I can even feel it in the plastic. It's like rough. Oh, it just makes me brokenhearted, and I'm gonna send her Timeless. If I can find out who this iron belonged to, I'm sending you Timeless to get you back into healthiness. And she's gonna need a dusting cut, I'm thinking. So please don't let yourself get into that window. These are, professional made products so that they can, and I'm giving you the skills to be able to treat your hair like a professional. All right, yeah, let's do that. Do we have any questions? I've been talking for a really long time, I feel like.
Yeah, they actually want to know if it's better to brush your hair when it's wet or dry.
Okay. So I think, one of the things that I really want to focus on is when you brush your hair is using the right brush at the right time. So if you have a brush that doesn't have much cushion or much give in the bristles, then you might want to consider brushing when your hair is more dry. If you're brushing with a wide tooth comb or a fine tooth comb, then you can go ahead and do that when it's wet. The biggest thing is if you hear, when you brush through, sometimes you can hear it like stretch and snap. That means you don't have enough give in your brush or in your bristles to be brushing. So basically what those wet brushes do is they just have a bristle that can really give a lot, right? So they have like weaker bristles, and so you can make up for that with the cushion in the bristles and the movability of it. So, if you have the right brush, you can brush through wet. All right.
Does hot or cold water matter when washing your hair?
All right. So, technically, heat is one of those things that always lifts your cuticle and your hair, right? So if you can they've always taught us that as a stylist, you want to keep somebody's hair healthy, you should rinse with cool water. Now, I'm kind of a wuss, so I kind of bent the rules on this one because I didn't want to wash my client's hair in wet water because not wet water. Okay, I did wash it with wet water. I didn't wash it with hot or cool water because I'm always freezing everywhere, and when I was in the salon and they would wash my hair with cold water, I'd be like, oh my gosh, I can't handle it, and it wasn't enjoyable for me. So I chose to keep their hair healthy in other ways so that I could use the warm water in the bowl. So yes, it does matter. If you're really in a window where your hair is damaged, then you might want to consider using cool water in the bowl. I personally, I choose to make it healthy in all the other ways so that I don't have to deal with cold water in the bowl because it's just awful. But I did hear Heidi Klum, I hear she, at the end of her shower, rinses in cool water because it makes everything, your skin glow or something. But I tried it one time and I was like, never again. Burn. I don't like to be cold. All right.
And how often should you go in between washings?
Okay, so what you can imagine from all of this is that the more you blow dry, the more you heat style, the more times you go through all of that, the harder you are on your hair, the more chance you have at dehydrating it, right? You want to keep it healthy and moisturized like this leaf. You want it nice and healthy and not dehydrated at the end, okay? So I didn't get lunch today, so my hands are shaky. I'm like, ugh. Okay, so what you want to do is make sure that you focus on being able to keep that moisture in. And if you're in the window where you're blow drying every single day, you might want to figure out how you can stretch that out, because I found Tammy used to blow dry every day. Now, she has a lot of different, steps that we've been taking to get her hair into really healthy shape, and I cannot believe how far it's come. I'm so proud of her, and it's been a lot. It's been a lot for her because she's had extensions for 15, 20 years. She's there's a lot of different changes we're making for Tammy, so she's being a trooper during it. And so I think you guys are gonna love the results of her hair when we bring her on one time. So, one thing we really want to do is make sure that you're doing every little thing along the way, right? All the little things add up to just having great hair. Using the right shampoo and conditioner that's going to provide nutrition for your hair instead of stripping it of everything. That's one thing. Making sure you retain the moisture in it. Making sure you're not trying to heat style every single day of the week. It gets really hard on your hair. So if you can stretch those out, please do that. I think it's very healthy for your hair to do that. And in fact, Tammy's going 4 days now. Jenny's on 4 and 5 days. I need to wash it for live days. I did that the other week. I was like, whoa, it's live. I better wash it. I didn't wash it since last week, but I do 2 times a week. It feels cleaner to me. So, but sometimes you get a little lazy or busy and you can't keep up with all of it. So, but I would recommend trying to stretch them out so that you're stretching out between shampoos 2-3 days. And it does sometimes take, a month for your scalp to adjust because your scalp produces oil that is nutrient for your hair as well. So you want to make sure that that's able to, help it out. That's what it does.
And how often should you get your hair cut or trimmed?
Okay, so if you're trying to grow your hair out, I say every 8 weeks. Now, I don't even think I get mine cut every 8 weeks. Do you, Jenny? I think, a lot of people go in and just every time they get it colored or something, they get it cut. And, I think, you can gauge your hair and how it's growing and, what cycle you're trying to do. But 8 weeks or longer is good for a grow out cut. So then you can base it off of that, right?
Okay, now question. Is it better to wash your hair before you go to bed or when you wake up in the morning?
Okay, so I have a theory on this, and I, once again, don't have a lab to back this up, but I really think that if you blow dry after you use shampoo, I think you can keep your hair healthier than air drying it. I know that sounds funny, but I've just come to notice that if you're doing your blow dry correctly, okay? So if you blow dry correctly and you lay down the cuticle layers, if you're just roughing up your hair with a blow dry, then let it air dry and that will be healthier. But if you're good at a blow dry and keeping the shine in your hair and keeping your hair feeling silky, I noticed that once I started really focusing on my blow dry, back when I learned how to blow dry properly, that my hair just kept getting healthier and healthier and healthier. And then once I started with our shampoo and conditioner, it came to a whole other level of healthy that I don't even know how to explain. I just wanted it to perform well. And then I'm like, oh, it's like really changing my hair. And so, that's one of the things that we're gonna start getting testimonials from everybody in our team, because I cannot believe the difference in their hair. Like Tammy has all kinds of new hair under here from using the shampoo and conditioner, and I don't even know how to explain it. I just wanted it to perform well, and it's doing like so much more. So I'm excited about that. So we're gonna get testimonials from everybody to show you guys, what it's doing. So I recommend, if you're trying the shampoo and conditioner, please take a before you shampoo, even the first time, take a before picture, because I would love to see your results, because I cannot believe the results around here. Like everybody's hair, I can tell. I'm like, oh, you're using it and it looks amazing. I can really tell how much growth they're having and how great their hair is looking. So, shoot, I feel like I'm running out of breath here.
Okay. Is there any way to get your hair to look and feel thicker?
Okay, so there's lots of things you can do. Some shampoos and conditioners are meant to make your hair feel more silky and lay more silky, and some are made to make your hair feel and look thicker and fuller. So the toss-up in that is, if the one that lets your hair be thicker and fuller still provides the nutrients and the moisture that you need to keep it healthy. So that's the balance in choosing your shampoo and conditioners, making sure that it gives you what you need. So sometimes people rotate or switch so that their hair is sometimes getting the healthiness and sometimes getting the fullness. Now that's what I wanted to do, was marry those and get both for you. So we did. Ching! But yes, so you can definitely, get a lot out of your shampoo and conditioner. Is that what the question was, right? Like, what was the question?
The last one.
I get sidetracked in my head, sorry. Dan always wonders how. Do you have it, or no, you don't have it anymore? So she's on the next question. So hopefully I answered that question properly. If not, team, can you help me out on that? Okay, Tammy, you got another one? Yeah,
there's another one. They want to know, a couple people have bought the Timeless, and they want to know how often and when to spray that in.
Okay, I think Timeless is like, a once a week or twice a week kind of application, because I can still feel it when I shampoo. I can tell that I use Timeless because my hair will feel smoother. And then you get it so healthy you barely even have to use it. It's crazy. Like, I haven't touched Timeless in like a week or two because my hair is just I can feel how soft it is and how it performs, so I don't feel like I need to put it on again. And I'm if I don't need to use a product, I probably won't, because I just like my hair feeling clean for the, amount of days I go in between shampoos and washes.
And actually, we used it on Kinley's before.
Yes,
the
that
shampoo.
was huge.
That was huge.
So I don't know if you guys all saw, but we cut Kinley's hair a couple of months ago. It was real curly, and she had lots and lots of curls. And so Tammy is her mom, and she's always trying to brush through her hair before and after she showers. So she was trying to brush through last night, and I was like, oh, let's spray Timeless in first before she shampooed, and it was amazing what it did for her curly hair. She could brush right through after, and she has like boatloads of hair. So we had to straighten it last night because she's sharing the play today in the kids' performance. So we have a little video of that we might be releasing one day. It'll be fun. She's the one who created Ching. She's a cute girl.
Now another question about upstaged. If you're doing touch-up curls the next day, do you apply upstaged again? That's usually a frequent question.
I am, once I put it in, I don't reapply it unless I've, sprayed water in or I need more defined curls. I just do it the first day. Now, if you are somebody that has more damage, right? If you're not as well versed with your iron, or you just have damage for some reason, then probably you want to be more stringent with your heat protectant, right? So you might want to try applying it before you curl again, and just make sure the product is dry before you use it. And brush it through really well.
That's pretty much everything. A lot of questions about just, when to cut the hair and how to make it, but I mean, you kind of discussed all of those.
Okay.
So we're
Yeah.
good.
So, I mean, the main thing you really want to do is make sure that you have shine in your hair. That is your tell-all. If you don't have shine in your ends, or if you don't have shine up here, it means you're dehydrating your hair, okay? So don't treat it like the poor plant would when it's starving for water, right? You want to keep the moisture in all the way down to the end of the leaf. I like this leaf. It was the perfect leaf. Tammy just went out and got it for me. Perfect.
I see a question about the shampoo, if it's supposed to be sudsy or not so much. So
Okay.
maybe we need to explain about getting your hair really wet.
Okay,
before you-
so there's certain suds that cause problems for your hair. So we put minimal. We wanted your hair to stay healthy and still have a suds. So our shampoo does have suds, and it suds is better if you have more water in your hair. Okay, so when you shampoo, you want to make sure that you have lots of water in your hair and it's soaking wet before, and then when you condition, you want to really wring it out before you put the conditioner on, because the goal of the shampoo is to get everything out, and the goal of the conditioner is to put things in. Okay, so you want very wet for it to come out and very dry for it to go in, right? So because if your hair is oversaturated, then the conditioner can't even get in because the water is already there. So you want to make sure you wring out your hair before you put your conditioner in. It's so key. Have you been doing that, Tammy, too? I think that's a big help too.
And that's a lot of questions are too, is how their hair feels after the conditioner, but I don't know if they realize they have to get it, as dry as they can before they put it in.
Yeah, and one of the things I didn't want, when I put, so one of the questions is how your hair feels after the conditioner.
Yeah,
right.
It feels kind of straw-like.
Right, yeah. So one of the things I tested when we were formulating the conditioner is, how it feels in the shower for you compared to how it feels and performs for you after. So with our conditioner, I, wanted it to make your hair perform amazing out of the shower. When I put an element in it to make your hair feel more slippery in the shower, it took away from the performance out when your hair was dry. So I took out that slippery factor in the shower. So how your hair feels in the shower does not determine how your hair performs when it's dry. You understand that? So I understand, I didn't put the silky things in on purpose because I didn't like what it did for your hair out of the shower. It was very, very important because hair started looking more fuzzy when I had that silky feel in it. So I took out the silky feel in the shower, which some people have to adjust to. Did you have to adjust to that, Tammy, or did you not?
It took a little bit. Mm-hmm. Yes, definitely.
Yeah. So but I'm telling you, everything is in there to make it perform amazing. So if you can get past the feel in the shower because you care how it looks dry, you're gonna win. You're going to win, I'm telling you, people. All right, so we get 10 new people to get to try this stuff right now. So I'm very excited for those 10 new winners. Do we have them? Do we know? We're getting some of them.
We have the Traveler Set winners.
Okay, Traveler Set winners. All right, perfect. So let's see who the time travelers are going to be.
All right.
I'm going to say that, the new time travelers.
The new time
Do
travelers.
you time travel? You will now. And I cannot wait. Seriously, take pictures before and after. You will not believe the results. Cannot say it enough. Okay, what?
Are you ready?
Yep.
Okay, Alyssa Ordway.
Okay, Alyssa Ordway's our number 1 Cinco de Mayo 5 winner. Time traveler. Our first time traveler is Alyssa Ordway. Okay.
The second one is Amanda Inman.
Amanda Inman. Okay.
Number 3, Brittany Starr Roundtree.
Brittany Starr Roundtree is number what? 3?
3.
3.
Number 4, Suzanne Hoffman-Baxa.
Suzanne Hoffman-Baxa. Welcome to the Time Traveler world.
And number 5, Jessica Van Scoyoc.
Jessica Van Scoyoc. Number 5. You're number 5.
Winners.
All right, so those are our lucky time travelers today. I cannot wait to see what your results are from using the shampoo and conditioner. 10 months for one bottle. I cannot get over that from Addie. Oh my gosh, she had her bottle for 10 months. I thought like, 6 or 8 is what Araya and I go through in the shower. I mean, Tajan uses it too, but he's a boy. I don't know. He soaps his whole body though, I think. With it's so funny how boys get to do that. They're like, yeah, I'm just gonna use this for. Because I was like, we're out of soap and Tajan just showered. What is he doing? He's like, Mom, I use the shampoo because I like how it smells. And I'm like, oh,
I had to
that's
put it
yours
up.
too? Oh,
because he would
Jenny had to put it out of her son's reach because he likes the smell of it so much, and he's like pumping it all and.
Yeah,
Oh,
Kitty
man.
would do it and put it right in the bubbles. That was her
Yeah,
bubbles.
oh,
I'd be
yeah.
like, don't, that's gold. You can't
Yeah,
have
so
that.
all the kids love it. It's so funny. Okay, that's awesome. It smells good.
Yeah.
Decadent cupcakes. Decadent
We got all
cupcakes.
5.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have all 5 shampoo and conditioner winners. So you guys will now be blinging in the shower. And I'm so excited for you. See, shampoo, conditioner, you'll never have to doubt it. You can see it wherever they are because it's at the top and bottom.
All right, you ready? Number 1, Sarah Johnson.
Sarah Johnson, you're our number 1 winner.
Number 2, Vanessa Raven.
Vanessa Raven, number 2.
Number 3, Santa Neff.
Santa Neff, okay.
Number 4, Stephanie Kennedy.
Stephanie Kennedy. Ooh, I wonder if you're from that family tree.
And number 5, Christina Wright.
And Christina Wright is number 5. You're the Cinco de Mayo. Duh. Okay, so yes, you guys are going to be our shampoo and conditioner winners today. And then we have one more winner who is going to be... Oh, I finally found my good lighting. Do you guys see how much of a difference the lighting makes in makeup? Oh my goodness, it's so much better up close right here. I missed my lighting the whole time. Dark shadows under my eyes the whole time. I'm gonna think I didn't do good makeup today for some reason. Okay, so iron winner is who?
Alyssa Ordway.
Alyssa Ordway?
Again, yeah.
Oh, she won the iron and the...
Traveler set.
Oh, she must have had a really good comment. Thank you, Alyssa. I'm going back to wearing my hat today to support my Violent Gentlemen because I love Tiffany and how awesome their company is. I just love this. Violent Gentlemen. I think it's such a great idea.
Oh, and we need them to email us.
Oh yeah, everybody don't forget to send us your a message or a message with your email and mailing address, right?
Yeah.
All right. Oh, that one's tough for me. I always mess it up. Okay. So anyway, we'll see you next Friday. Welcome to the summer. Are we getting there? Are we technically summer yet?
I don't think
No, I just
technically.
feel like it's sunny today and my brothers are at the lake. Oh, they get to be on a boat today. Oh. Okay, one day we'll be out there again. Okay, bye everybody.